On this episode of CityView, it's a partnership that protects endangered wildlife, marking the flood that washed away lives 30 years later, and punniness, what happens when a backward poet writes in verse. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Tejas. In the city's May general election, 2 Austin City Council members succeeded in their bids for re-election. Council members Laura Morrison and Chris Riley won the right for another 3-year term, while the race for Council Place 3 is headed for a runoff election. Incumbent Council member Randy Shade received about 33% of the vote, while challenger and former Planning Commission member Kathy Tovo received just under 47% of the vote. The two will face off in a runoff election, which will be held Saturday, June 18th. Early voting begins Monday, June 6th and ends Tuesday, June 14th. Your vote is important as 7% of voters cast ballots in this last general election. And from gauging the election candidates to lots of water in the rain gauge, 30 years ago in about 4 hours' time, a massive storm dumped more than 10 inches of rain on parts of Austin, which resulted in massive flooding. On May 23rd of this year, families that were affected, city officials, and public safety responders who were first on the scene gathered on the banks of Shoal Creek to mark what has become known as the 1981 Memorial Day flood. This intense storm resulted in 13 lives lost and a citywide damage total estimated to be upwards of $35.5 million.
So as the mayor mentioned, during the Memorial Day flood, we received 10 inches of rain across Austin, mainly between 9:30 p.m. and midnight. The heaviest rain rates were right along Shoal Creek in northwest part of Austin, where somewhere upper of 4.5 inches of rain per hour fell. And so this created a flash flood along Shoal Creek right here.
That night, of course, was finding our daughter. We thought she was lost in the flood. After we found her, nothing else mattered. But then in the days that followed, just seeing how many people, friends and whatever, that heard about it, that came. I had kids I had in Cub Scouts 30 years earlier showed up to help. And the neighborhood coming together, it was, you find out who your friends were in a hurry.
Your council has been debating and deliberating issues that affect you, and now it's time for a council update on their latest actions with Samantha Park.
Energy rates. We all pay them and they may be a-changin'. So the Austin City Council has created a process to review proposed rate changes at Austin Energy. Council directed the Electric Utility Commission to conduct a public review and specifically include participation of residential customers. The Commission would likely begin its public review in September and provide recommendations to Council by the end of October. There's more information on the rate review process on the Austin Energy website at austinenergy.com. Council set Saturday, June 18th as the date for the Place 3 runoff election between Randy Shade and Kathy Tovo. The election will cost a little more than $528,000, and funds will come from the city clerk's office budget. The winner will take office June 28th. Council also voted to accept state and federal funds to buy and install sensors aimed at detecting travel time and traffic counts. The data from the sensors will allow the Transportation Department to adjust signal timing and improve traffic flow. The data will also be available to the public using the city's webpage and other means. Now, Council also accepted funds from Capital Metro to help speed up the travel time of buses along bus rapid transit routes. The money will pay for devices that give priority operation to buses, as is the case now for fire and EMS emergency vehicles. The technology tracks a bus's location, sends a priority call to the traffic signal as the bus approaches. Council also directed the city manager to begin operation of a free cell phone waiting area at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport by the beginning of 2012. 40 of the top 50 airports in the United States have free cell phone waiting areas where patrons who are picking up arriving passengers may wait in the proximity to the airport, so passengers, when they arrive, can give them a call on their cell phones. And finally, Council approved a contract for 2 bill payment kiosks for Austin Energy. The kiosks are standalone electronic terminals that will allow City of Austin utility customers to pay bills and manage their accounts by accessing the information through an interactive keypad and display system in the terminal. In all, Council considered 98 items at its May 26th meeting. Its next regularly scheduled meeting is for June 9th. For CityView, I'm Samantha Park.
The Balcones Canyonlands Conservation Plan preserved thousands of acres for endangered species in Travis County and is said to have set the bar around the world for habitat conservation. It was 15 years ago that the plan was signed by then-Mayor Bruce Todd to preserve this area for generations to come. To commemorate the anniversary of the Balcones Canyonlands Conservation Plan, over 100 people came out to help celebrate the occasion, along with Mayor Lee Leffingwell and former Mayor Todd, who helped unveil the framed proclamation marking that historic day.
This is absolutely wonderful. It was imperative that we started this kind of trend in the Austin area to conserve the natural heritage that we have. A lot of what was preserved here is in floodplain, and so keeping it from being developed means that we can keep that floodplain more healthy, reduce erosion. There's so much diversity. You know, a lot of the hill country is a lot more open and rolling. But when you get to these breaks in these hills, there's so much diversity. And to be able to use as a seed bank, protecting the soil, just teaching. And there's so many different animals and wildlife that come in and use this as their habitat. It's just a great way to learn about the natural history of the area.
And green in a different way from the Canyonlands is a new property just east of Congress Avenue. Sustainable construction met the need for affordable housing at the recent opening of a new development in South Austin. City officials and community members celebrated the grand opening on May 20th. The development, called The Retreat at North Bluff, is a mixed-income property with units dedicated for households with low income and also tenants with special needs or disabilities. Participating in the opening festivities were Mayor Pro Tem Mike Martinez and the city's Chief of Staff, Anthony Snipes.
A project like this gives Austinites the opportunity to enjoy this amazing city and a quality of life that they probably wouldn't have otherwise without projects like this. Can you imagine having the ability to have a media room, a workout room, an outdoor grilling area, energy efficient appliances, lower electric rates, and you make $15,000 a year? That's exactly what's happening on this site. 36 of the units are available to 30% median family income and below.
This partnership will impart a substantial return of investment for the city of Austin. It provides housing opportunities for Texans while giving back to the city. We anticipate that this project will serve as a model for future affordable housing projects and partnerships, and we can tell developers when they come to our office in the future, have you had an opportunity to see the retreat at North Bluff? And if so, then if they can do it, you can do it too.
The retreat at North Bluff has been recognized by Austin Energy's Green Building Program for its sustainable design. The property is located at 6212 Crow Lane in South Austin. Envision Central Texas is a nonprofit organization composed of a diverse group of citizens, which includes neighborhood, environmental, and business leaders, as well as policymakers who share the common goal of addressing growth sensibly with the interests of the region's citizens in mind. The group recently recognized the City of Austin with its Community Stewardship Award for its work on the Austin Strategic Mobility Plan. That plan prioritized transportation projects based on a model that blends community values with mobility needs. The model was used to develop the November 2010 Mobility Bond, which was approved by voters. That bond package included $90 million worth of short and long-term investments that addresses city mobility issues on streets, sidewalks, bike paths, trails, and transit infrastructure in all parts of Austin. For more information about mobility projects, visit austinstrategicmobility.com. Well, two City of Austin silkworms recently had a race. They ended up in a tie. Get it? It's that type of wit and humor that was on full display at the 34th annual O. Henry Punoff Championships that recently took place. Austinites came out to cheer or jeer prospective pundits as they jest for a worthy cause. There were two competitions to behold. Punniest of Show, which featured contestants presenting 90-second theme-based bits before a panel of judges, and Punslingers, which pit extemporaneous wisecrackers against each other in increasingly heated head-to-head rounds of tournament play. We were there for every punny moment.
The Punniest of Show competition, and that's where the contestants have a minute and a half to deliver a rehearsed pun. They give them a little slop time for applause and laughter, so they have a total of 2 minutes or they're dinged out. And that's judged by holding up scores like in the Olympic. There'll be 6 judges. They'll throw out the high and the low score, total them, and that will be their score. And hopefully we'll determine a first, second, and third place.
The competition is, to be honest, completely brutal. People think of puns as being simple or juvenile, but when you've got 5 seconds to come up with something on a specific topic and you're bouncing back and forth with someone who's really sharp, it's pressure. And so it's really exciting to see what people come up with under that kind of pressure. Sometimes it's brilliant, sometimes it's awful, but as long as they're coming up with something, they're still alive, and it's a great to see the competitive spirit.
They go, and it's a prepared piece, so we've been practicing and practicing and practicing. And as soon as we go up, someone starts using the same breakfast puns as we did, because that was our theme. We thought it was going to be very creative, but the person right before us happened to do breakfast puns. And
cheerio, I hope you'll accept my invitation to breakfast tomorrow.
I'll have nothing to do with it. I've sconed your affections for years, and you can bagel all you want, but I do not want to go out with you.
I'm not going to egg, but why not? I'm an approachable guy who likes to yoke around and looks at life's sunny side up.
You also scramble on and on, and I'm going to let you finish, but it's wistful to think you can win this girl over easy.
I know. Remember when our families vacationed together on the French toast? I thought singing outside your window might give you the crepes, but I had to biscuit.
I think we were able to do it, so we just decided we're going to go up and just have fun.
It really it lessened the stress level actually, because really as soon as we saw that we thought, well, let's just have fun with it, you know, no more stress.
38 points. We have Kelly Dupin and Justin Gobabe, last year's champions, and a former champion, Andrew Belinsky, with 37 points. So there you go.
Most of the contestants were from Austin, and the ones who weren't from Austin were from somewhere around Texas. Over the years, we've gradually gotten more and more out-of-state contestants. People can come from any walk of life. They just have to be professional smartass. No two ways about that.
That's all for this edition of CityView. I'm your host, Renee Tejas. Our next episode premieres Friday, June 10th. Thanks for watching.